What's up? It is 2:05 on March 3rd, 2024. What's up, everybody? Good to see you guys that are on the call. If you're watching this on replay, thanks for watching. We're going to go through this call probably in about 40 minutes to cover all the details for the 2024 spring grit season. So I'm Brant Miner. I started grit 4 years ago. Really to help kids. I had a great experience playing club basketball when I was in high school. My freshman year roommate was one of my AAU teammates and just really enjoyed that whole experience. So I've coached a few different clubs. When I was at Southern Oregon, I had a team, and then now Grit year 4. So we're going to let you guys know what GRIT's acronym stands for. So hopefully you guys, if you're watching, some of you guys are on the team already. Some of you guys are trying out this week, but you will be questioned about what GRIT stands for. You see the periods here, 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 here. That means it's an acronym. An acronym, you guys know what an acronym is, hopefully, but that would be like NBA, National Basketball Association. So that's what GRIT is. GRIT is an acronym. So I get the privilege of introducing our head coach of GRIT, the head coach at Pacific University, who had just finished their best season in 24 years. So really excited to have Coach Lunt back with us. I got to work with him for 5 years, and now he gets to work with me and we work together. So Coach, I'm going to turn this over to you to tell him what the G means and just kind of give a little introduction.
Yeah, absolutely. Great, glad to be back. I'm actually sitting in a gym right now in Seaside watching my daughter's game. So you guys can see that old school gym. It's actually pretty cool. But starting off with gratitude, just actually, I'll be honest with you. Um, it's great for technology. I'm very grateful for technology to be able to sit and watch a game and then also be able to talk with all you. It was awesome to be able to do those things. My first couple of years of coaching, we were using VHSs and cell phones weren't a big thing. Text messaging wasn't a big thing, and so being able to do something like this is awesome. But just grateful to be part of this program. Excited about this year. It's been actually really really cool being in Seaside for these last couple of days. Seen a lot of families and players and friends who have been a part of the GRIT program or who know about the GRIT program and have come up to me and asked me if I was going to be part of it again this spring and then this summer. And so you can see the news spreading about GRIT all around down here in Seaside. So pretty cool. I just wanted to use this time to talk a little bit about gratitude. I know I talked about it last week as far as just being grateful, but one of the challenges, I know Colin's going to speak to you all about the mental training piece, which is awesome. And you all should be doing all of that work. That's only going to help you so much with your development as an athlete, as a student, as a son, as a person. So really take those in. But one of the challenges that I would ask for you guys this week is when you wake up in the morning this week, before you pick up your cell phone, check your Snapchat, check your Instagram, but think of two things that you're grateful for when you wake up in the morning. Just two, not that much to ask for, but I'll tell you right now, perspective for your day completely changes when you wake up in the morning and you think about things that you're grateful for. So I challenge all of you, starting tomorrow, wake up in the morning, think of two things you're grateful for, say those things out loud, and then start off your day with a bang and be excited about it. So that's my message for all the GRIT family this week. Enjoy your week, be grateful, and let's get after it.
Awesome. Let's go. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate you hopping on, even though you are in a gym in Seaside. Hopefully you guys were able to hear that. Got a little bit of staticky, but hopefully you guys were able to pick that up. And just like you said, awesome stuff being able to communicate with everybody on the team while being in Seaside. So that technology has brought us a long way. So the resiliency coming back after the pandemic, a lot of us realize that we can pout or mope, or we can get better. So that resiliency, being resilient, is a huge part. So gratitude, resiliency, and then I'm going to turn it over to one of our other coaches, Jacob Bolger. Jacob was a player for me at Pacific on my JV team his first year at Pacific. And then he was a two-time All Northwest Conference player at Pacific. And then came back this year to utilize his COVID year, and unfortunately was injured and wasn't able to play this year. He did have a thunderous dunk our last game of the season, then had to check right out of the game. But Jacob, appreciate you being on. Looking forward to getting to work with you this spring. Go ahead and talk to us a little bit about intensity. You're one of the most intense guys I know. Give us a little bit of a preview about why we picked I as intensity.
Well, intensity is really just a mindset, and it doesn't just have to do with sports or basketball. It has to do with everything that you do in your life, um, and intensity has helped me to get to where I want to be in my life. And my perspective on the word intensity is that if you do everything to the best of your ability and try your hardest and you're intense and you care about it as much as possible, you can accomplish pretty much whatever you set your mind to, and you can do great things. And intensity isn't just a way for you to get better at doing something that you love, but it's a way to show the people around you your passion and inspire other people to do good as well. It's really something that is infectious. And when you're an intense person and when you care about what you're talking about or what you're doing, other people can see that. And it really it's inspiring to see somebody get really excited about stuff and really care. And that's just sort of the kind of environment that we want to promote at Grit. Like, we want you guys to come in and with fire and really want to compete and get better, not only as basketball players, but as young men, and people, and contribute to society around you. So intensity is just, in my opinion, the most important thing that you can have, other than a good work ethic, to make you successful in everything. So I really appreciate the opportunity to be here and to help coach you guys. And thank you, Coach.
Absolutely, Jacob. Let's go. Passion. Not only does it make you better, it makes those around you better. So think about that. We're going to go T, togetherness. I'm going to turn this over to Hellstrom, and then we're going to get to hear from Colin before he has to dip out. So Coach Hellstrom, tell everybody that's on the call what the T in GRIT stands for.
Well, first of all, good afternoon, everybody. And yeah, when we talk about togetherness, a lot of it is not just the idea of, we are huddling during a free throw or a timeout, but it's also the idea that, understanding that if you want to go somewhere fast, you're going to go alone. But if you want to go somewhere far, you're going to go together. And I think that for us, we really want to take advantage of that, and that togetherness of just, we win as a team, we do things together, and we also just want this experience to be something that's very special. I think that a lot of times when you talk about that togetherness, it's not just everyone touches the ball on an offensive possession, but it's when we're going out and going to a game, that we all sit together and we all kind of just we share those like things, because we all not only like basketball, but we're all just like people that just want to, oops. We all just want to be a group of people that really just want to be about helping each other be the best versions of the people that we can be. So that really is togetherness to me. So I'm just excited to just be a part of it, to share what I can, not just about the game, but also about life, and about just being, just giving you opportunities to come together and to play basketball and to share what Grit is about.
Let's go. And I didn't give Coach Hellstrom his due respect with the introduction. Coach Hellstrom's been a head high school coach in California. He's been an assistant coach at some of the top high schools in the state of Oregon, including Central Catholic, Sherwood, Liberty, and now he's a college assistant coach at Pacific University. So we have a lot of experience on this staff, but I'll run through it. Gratitude, being thankful, resiliency, bouncing back, intensity, showing up with some fire and some passion, and togetherness. So make sure you guys take note of all those things. Something else that we do, we don't just roll it out. It's not like you're just going to show up to grit and just be games and a couple practices. There will be assignments outside of the gym that you will be required to do if you were chosen to play for grit. And we have one of the best, if not the absolute best, mental performance, mental trainers in the country that's doing these, the amplitude, trying to normalize the conversation of how we can get better. This is stuff the pros do. Why are we not doing it? So if we can get that competitive advantage over everybody else that's not doing this, let's go, let's do it. So Colin, I'm gonna turn this over to you and tell them a little bit, or you can tell them a little bit about yourself, two-sport Division I player, athlete, and now 4 books. You've written 4 books? 5 now, 4, 3.
7, but who's counting?
7. This guy's an author 7 times over. Let's go. So I'm gonna turn this over to you, Colin. Take it away.
Oh, hey, what's up? What's up, guys? I'm so grateful to be here. I'm so excited. Hey, thank you for showing up on a Sunday. And what a cool gift we have to be together as a small group and we talk about how to elevate, how we perform on the court, but more importantly in life. So I love that this grit program, all those traits have nothing to do with basketball, like skills. It has nothing to do with shooting and dribbling, it has to do with your mind. So just working out physically is not enough if you want to elevate your game because at the higher levels you get, everyone's talented. So I'm so grateful to kind of lead this part of grit and talking about how to train your mind. So there are 3 things we can train as basketball players: our body, our craft, and our mind. So think about that. There are 3 things we can train. Your body would be weight room, bigger, stronger, faster. Who thinks it's important to be stronger in the weight room? Endurance, explosion, jump. Yeah, that's super important. You gotta train that. What most basketball players do is they are gym rats, which is great, and they spend most of their training in that middle bucket, which is craft. How many shots you getting up, ball handling. I mean, maybe some footwork, I don't know. But how many times have you gone to the gym and practiced for 3 hours? It did nothing for you in the game. Who's experienced that? It's probably because there was a lack of connection with the physical skills with the mental skills. So when I played at Washington University in the Pac-12, I did the first 2 all the time, but the third bucket, the mental game, I didn't know what to do and I struggled. I started in 2 sports, but like I was miserable. I was lots of anxiety. Do you get nervous when you play the game of basketball? Yes or no? I'm sure we all do. So like, what are you doing for that? Again, just working on the skills physically is not enough. So we put together what we believe is a world-class mental training program that you can do that I train #1 NBA draft picks, first #1 overall picks, Heisman Trophy finalists, Olympic and pro athletes, business like executives. So you're getting access to same knowledge that the highest players in the game are getting. You have access to this now because you're a part of, or you could possibly be a part of Grit. So I thought I'd do a little activity. I really believe that, you should entertain before you educate and involve people in the workout. So you would never, play a game without warming up. So we got to do a little mental warm up. So everybody stand up. Let's go. Stand up. Let's do an activity. Coach Miner, let's go, baby. Grit, gratitude, resilience, intensity, togetherness. Okay. Now, first, let's just loosen up. Are y'all awake today on a Sunday afternoon? Hopefully you're not drinking too many prime and energy drinks. All right. So this is what we're going to do. All right. I'm going to show you how powerful your mind is. And I'm going to teach you a concept. It begins before it begins. Think about that. Your performance, your execution begins in your mind before you even step on the court. I'll give you an example of this. So I want everybody to have your feet firmly planted on the ground. And Coach Meyer, when you say one of my favorite things to post is to be where your feet are, now that means that means being present because your feet are always present. How many times when you play the game, you're thinking, don't miss the shot, don't miss the lane, don't get scored on, or you made a mistake last possession and you're still stuck on that last possession and you go on and make a bad play the next play. You're not present. So part of mental training is to train your focus. Where's my focus? Are you reliving or are you pre-living? Now, we want to live in the present moment. So lock your feet in right now. Feel the ground on your feet. Be present right now. Let's go. What if your favorite moment was now all the time? All right, so I want you to put your arm out like this, point your finger at me. And with your feet planted, this is a little trunk twist. I want you to see how far can you turn to the right. Turn to the right with your feet planted. See how far you can twist. This is like getting your trunk core activated. How far can you twist? Kind of look, see how far you do a mental note how far you can turn. All right, come back. Now we just did a physical rep. Now let's get a mental rep because everything happens twice, first in our mind, then in real life. Worrying is a form of visualizing. But how many of us are worrying about things going wrong? You're actually training neural pathways to reinforce the things you don't want. So part of going to the mind gym is visualizing, using language to focus on things that we do want. Change your don'ts to do's. Don't miss a shot. Don't turn over. No, do execute. Do finish hard in the paint. Do get low and move my feet. Do you see how when you change how you communicate, it changes everything in your life and your game? Because TBT, not Throwback Thursday, thoughts become things. Thoughts become things. Now, everybody close our eyes. Let's get a mental rep. Everyone's eyes closed. I'm going to walk you through a mental drill. I want you to experience that same drill, but in your mind. So your feet are planted. I want you to visualize and imagine your arm is out in front of you. Visualize and imagine your arm is out in front of you. Don't do it physically, do it mentally. I want you to visualize and feel your body twisting, your trunk twisting to the right. Feel it. Just like you would imagine your jump shot, imagine your trunk twisting to the right and feel your body twist. Don't just think, but feel. I'm gonna push you now. Imagine yourself pushing further. Imagine, feel your trunk going even further, all the way around, 360. Push yourself even further. Let's go. That's all you got? Heck no. Keep pushing. Let's go. Grit, resilience, intensity. Do this together. Move all the way around in your body. Feel it move. Go, go, go. All right. Now open your eyes. So we did a rep physically. We did a rep mentally. Now I want to invite you to push yourself, set your intention, and go further round 3. Let's blow this thing out. Let's see what you got. Feet planted, arm out like this. Now push yourself. How far can you twist round 3? Let's go. Let's get it. How far can you twist? Man, that's dope. Okay. I want y'all to come off of mute real quick. Were you able to go further round 3? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why do you think? Y'all can sit. Y'all can chill. Y'all can sit down. Good job. Why do you think you're able to go further round 3? Let's just have a quick conversation about this. Aiden, why do you think you're able to go further round 3?
Because you willed it into existence. You used your mind.
Ooh, I like what he just said. He just said you willed it into existence. That is powerful. I love that. Kellen, you got something for us? Like, how are you able to go further round 3?
Just because you like visualized it and you kind of just achieved what you thought you could do. Kind of.
Well, because you got a mental rep. There's power in the pause, and you had intention, and you organized your thinking, but not just thinking, feeling, and then your body followed. Let's do one more. Anybody else? Clayton or Will? Rue, you want to jump in and say anything? How you're able to go further round 3?
Yeah. I think you could go farther because you didn't know how far you could actually go until you imagined going farther.
That's power. How about this one? Our limits begin where our vision ends. You never outperform your self-image. So part of this work with real frequency amplitude, how we partner together, master your mindset, is we're giving you coaching on how to change your inner voice, your thinking, what you focus on expands. And be disciplined with how you speak to yourself, the images that you think, but also get dialed in on your process, your preparation, how you train, how you warm up. Make the main thing the main thing. We don't change who we are for where we are. Because how many of you can like practice by yourself and you're like on fire, can't miss, but then you get around teammates and you're like, hey, wait, why does this feel different? Because you're letting those eyes infiltrate your focus. And then what about a game time or crunch time? Your brain is so noisy. And it's hard sometimes to duplicate what you practice. So mental training is just giving you systems. How I define clutch is doing what you normally can do when it matters most. Just be you. But some of you don't have a process on ways to duplicate. So if I can give you just two things today to work on, is change how you speak to yourself. Change how you speak to yourself. The number one source of confidence backed by research from the BBC lab in the UK, 44,000 patients, was self-talk. What you say to yourself has 10 times the power. So if you're pre-game, you know, you're on offense, you miss your first 3 shots, and your self-talk is, I suck. Why can't I make this shot? The rim seems small. I can't feel it. Like, you're commanding yourself to fail. What if your self-talk was, hey, look good, felt good, next one will be good. I'm a beast. I'm a savage. Keep attacking. Keep attacking. Be here. Be present. I'm built for this. Why not me? What's going to give you a better chance to make the next shot? The second one. Just like I guided you through a way to visualize, I helped you see going further. Give your brain the benefit of seeing what you want, not what you don't want. How simple is that? But sometimes it's hard. Focus on what you want, not what you don't want, and see it first. Talk yourself through it. Don't listen to yourself. Talk to yourself. Change your self-talk, change your life. What you say to yourself has 10 times the power. So we're going to teach you how to do that. The second thing is to have an elite process. Have an elite process. Call me by process. Process would be mental and physical habits done daily to aid performance. So how many of you, some games you wear a sleeve, some games you don't. Some games you wear a certain pair of shoes, some games you don't. Some games you listen to a certain playlist, some games you don't. If you can really lock in on the 3 or 4 things you're gonna do for every single game, every practice, and treat practicing games the same. There are no big moments. Why? Because every moment matters. There's no like, oh, this is a big moment. No, this is just another way to get better. Because when you're in practice, you're in practice whether it's game or not, by self, teammates, or others. So same routine, same gear, similar gear that you wear, how you warm up, how you respond. We're going to work on how to have grit and how to be resilient. We're going to teach you how to reset. Same routine, pre-thought out. Talk to yourself in an elite way and have an elite process. That's going to help you, activate gratitude, resilience, intensity, and being together. So let's do that. So I'll end with a study. So the University of Chicago looked at free throw shooting. Who wants to get better shooting free throws? I mean, if you can get to the line, Brand, if you can get to the line 6, 8 times and you shoot 90%, you're going to score 15 a game, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's a
So,
great way to do it.
so University of Chicago looked at free throw shooting. They had 3 groups. Group 1 would practice making free throws every day for a month. Group 2, no practice. That was control. Group 3 would just visualize. They wouldn't touch the ball. They'd visualize making free throws. Again, this is the power of brain training. Group 1 that practiced making free throws increased their percentage by 24%. Group 3, no training, no improvement. So y'all got to get your booties in the gym and get that working physically. But group 3 that visualized without touching a ball increased their make percentage by 23%. It was 1% difference than the ones that practice physically. So like that drill I just taught you, if we can combine elite habits of working our butt off, weight room, gym rats, getting shots up, passing, teamwork, but going to the mind gym and working how we communicate with ourselves, gratitude, what we visualize, having tools to reset, having an elite process. I'm telling you, you're going to go further. Just like we did, I showed you, man, who wants to get a scholarship? Or who wants to just have a great experience in high school? Let's go. The body has limits, but the mind is limitless. And if we can win the inner game, we'll crush the outer game, I promise you. So best of luck. Can't wait for you to embark on this journey, and the best is ahead.
That right there is good stuff. You got me fired up, Colin. The body has limits, but the mind is limitless. Let's go. Elite mental training. That's what we're about. I know everybody in the basketball world, AAU says they're elite, but if everybody's elite, then elite's kind of average. There's like this city elite, this state elite, this guy's last name elite. But we're trying to do it a little bit different. That's why we have people like Colin coming in and pouring into you guys And he's going to be leading all those videos some of you guys have already done the training for the first week, first assignment. But yeah, that's exciting stuff, Colin. I appreciate you stopping in and being here. I know you got a lot going, man. So thanks for swinging through.
Well, and here's the question: do y'all want to be elite performers? Yes or no? Let me see if you want to be like a high level performer. Well, if you want to be a high level performer, then you're going to the mind gym. You're working the mental game because this is our competitive edge. No other programs, not a lot of programs are doing this. They are at the college professional levels, but on the amateur, there's very few who have this much commitment and access to these tools. What if I told you, hey, I have this shot doctor that's going to elevate your accuracy by like 20%? Would you go see him or her? What if I told you this is very similar? It's just in a different way. And Adam Silver with the NBA commissioner, the last few years, like they mandated there has to be a licensed coach of the mental game on every staff. In Major League Baseball, every team has at least 1 to 5 mental skills coaches. So you are getting access to this is the future of sport. So with that, hey, I got to run, but best of luck. And never forget, the biggest growth potential is not physical, but mental. Peace.
Appreciate you, Colin. Thanks for swinging through. You guys get to hear quite a bit more as we proceed through the program from Colin, but really appreciate him being here. Like if the pros are doing it, why were we not doing it? Just, I mean, that's a pretty simple, basic thought, but if the best of the best do it, how do they get there? First off, they probably had that mindset at a younger age, but it's definitely something that I'm passionate about, and that's why we brought in the best to do it. So are you grinding or are you grooving?
That's it. All right.
Peace out. All right, next thing we're going to go over some of the key thoughts that we're going to talk about. We're going to play hard and play together. So that's one of the main things that we're going to talk about is playing hard and playing together. If you do those two things, we'll live with the results. We're also going to talk about actions and goals. If your actions don't line up with your goals, change your goals or change your actions. So I'll say that again, that if your actions, what you do every day, don't align with your goals, then change your goals or change what you do every day. Culture is about habits, behavior, belief. It takes a little experience, but we're trying to have a good culture with grit. I think everybody would say they want a good culture. No one's going to say, oh yeah, we're going to be a team and we're just going to have bad culture. But culture is definitely a buzzword. So how do we build our culture? We talk about these core values. Everybody should be thankful. Everybody should be resilient, bring passion, and work together. We're picking 20 kids this spring. So I'm going to go over that a little bit right now. We're picking 20 players and we're going to have 2 teams, but we're one program. So all 20 players will interact with each other. Everybody will get to know each other. We're going to do trivia. We're going to do scavenger hunts. We're going to do different types of activities and games on the Zooms. I think that's something that's really important is trying to, because it's something like Coach said that we can all do and to get better even when we're all over the state. So how are we getting better? We're bringing people together that have similar interests, that everybody wants to be the best they can be. Everybody wants to perform at a high level. So the chances that you're going to meet somebody from Grit that you have a good connection with, I would say would probably be higher than at your high school team, because the players with Grit all are going to be taught the same messages, the same lessons. And so you're going to have that basic connection. So I think that's something that we're going to bring is positive experiences and development. That's what we're about. Development, getting you better. Obviously on the floor, we're going to coach you guys hard and try to get the most we can out of you. And then we're going to talk about experience. So development and experience. So trying to have you guys have a great time, enjoy this, get to know other players, have memorable moments that you will carry with you for life. Like I can still pull memories out and I'm old. And I can still remember times when I was young, like you guys, playing basketball with my friends. We went to Vegas. We had 8 kids from Southern Oregon. We ran some teams that had better talent than we did. There was Roy Williams and all these coaches in the crowd watching the other team, and we beat some of these teams because we played as a team. So development and experience, play hard, play together. The body has limits, but the mind is limitless. Let's go. So those are just some of the things that I wanted to make sure we talk about. There's 2 teams. I'm going to turn this over to Jacob here to talk about this, a little bit about your role. If you are selected to be in grit, everybody has a different role. Some of you are going to be expected to score. Some of you are going to be expected to set screens and rebound and defend. Everybody's going to be part of the team. We're going to try to do the best we can to have you do. I think there's 3 things with role. You got to know it, accept it, and then excel at it. And usually the second one's the hardest, is accepting it, because everybody wants the role usually where they score a little bit more or they get to take more shots. But everybody's role is important, whether you're the first guy or the 10th guy on the team. Everybody's role is important. Gold, silver, 1, 20, everybody's important. So I'm going to turn it over to Jacob Bolger to just talk to you guys a little bit about that, depending on what team you're assigned to, how to handle that, and go from there. So Jacob, I'm going to turn it over to you, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, Coach. Accepting your role is something that does not come easy, and to most people doesn't come at all. And so the thing is whether you're placed on team 1 or team 2 or JV or varsity, it all goes back to this idea of what Coach was talking about earlier. Like, what are your goals, and what are you doing to prepare for those goals? If you want to achieve the goal of being on the varsity team, what are you doing to prepare for that? And if you're not doing everything that you can to prepare for that, you either need to change your goal or change your preparation. And accepting a role doesn't mean that you're going to be stuck in this role forever. It just means this is what we need from you as a player right now, and this is what your potential can bring to the table for our team. So accepting a role is one of the most important parts about making a team environment where we can be together and win together. And so, for example, I played on the JV team my freshman year at Pacific University, and I really wanted to be on the varsity team, and I couldn't accept that I wasn't good enough to play on the varsity team. But as I got older and figured it out some more, it became a sophomore, I realized, okay, this is what I need to do. This is what I need to do to get to where I want to be. And I still had an impact on the players who were on the varsity team, because we did stuff together as a team to create an environment where everybody feels successful and everybody feels like they have a part in winning. And so finding what role you have, and the coaches are going to be real honest with you about what your role is, and what we need from you. And then excelling in that role shows the coaches, like, okay, this kid really wants to do it. This kid really wants to be the best that they can possibly be. And that's how the door gets open. That's how the door gets open to being, the leading scorer or an all-conference player or athlete of the week or all these things. And that's how the door gets open, is accepting your role, doing what you need to do to be successful in that role. And then when you have a shot, and the coach gives you a chance, say you're last guy to check in, you don't play a whole lot, but the coaches give you a chance, you get in the game, you're diving on the floor for balls. You're chasing every rebound. You're hitting every screen. You're going through people who are trying to screen you. It's the effort. And so accepting the role, maybe passing up a deep 3 for somebody who's open for a layup. It's just plays like that. Accepting your role as a player show the coaches, like, okay, this kid really gets it. And if we don't accept our roles as players, there's not a chance that we're going to be as successful as we want to be. Like, at the end of the day, it's about winning as a team, and moving on to that next level. And I'll tell you right now, when I was in high school, I scored very few points. But what I did do is I brought fire, intensity, energy off the bench. I hardly ever started varsity when I was in high school. But I ended up at a school, who we went to the conference tournament for the first time in 24 years. And I'm a starter on that team. I achieved so much at this school, and it's because I accepted my role and I did what I could do best to support the team. And so that's what we're looking for in Grit.
Love it. Awesome. Thank you, Coach Bolger, Coach Jacob Bolger, the man, the myth, the legend himself. I'm stoked to have him on the squad, and you guys are going to really enjoy getting to learn from that guy. But that perspective is huge, you guys. And like Jacob said, I can speak to it as I never started a game in college. I worked really hard to be the worst player on the team. And everybody kind of laughs and smiles when they hear that. But just because you work hard doesn't mean you're going to be a star player or the starter or make the game-winning shot. But my role was to help the team get better. And like Jacob said, when I got in the game, I played like a kid with his hair on fire. First game, I had 7 rebounds. I played 5 minutes. I had 7 rebounds. I took 2 charges. I dove on the floor about 6 times. I knew I was only going to play 4 minutes because there was only 4 minutes and 30 seconds left in the game, right? So I didn't have to pace myself. I just played as hard as I could and was rewarded. I got to play in 21 college basketball games. So I played in 21 college basketball games, Division I college basketball games, and I'm not the biggest, strongest, fastest. But what I knew was my role, and I bought into that role, and I tried to be really good at it. So I helped the team GPA. That was part of my role. Just to be on the team was to help the team GPA, bring up the team's grades. I won the sprints because I knew if I didn't do those things, I wasn't going to be on the team. So just because we work hard, that's kind of just to get a seat at the table with grit. Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get to eat, right? Just to get a seat, you got to bring it all the time, every day. When you step on the court, when you bring it to these meetings, we're not going to halfway it. We're going to do it everything we can to try to get better. Jacob Bolger, go for it, buddy.
Yeah, and there's no cool guy attitude. There's no cool guy attitude. You come on a team, everybody's equal. We're all there to get better. We're all there to earn a scholarship. We're all there to win together and succeed together. There's no cool guy stuff on the team. We don't do that.
Absolutely. The cool guy gets his butt kicked by the hard worker. So that's where the intensity, we're going to get loud in practice. It's going to be intense because that's one of our core values. So if that's not something you're into, let's change, right? Like you don't have to be vocal and outgoing off the floor, but when you play for grit on the floor, there's no other option. So off the floor, it's okay to be quiet. It's okay to be a little reserved. But when you step on the floor, when you get into these meetings, when we call on you, you're going to speak loud. You're not going to be shy. We're going to try to help you overcome some of those things. I know Rue's on the call and he was in the program last year. So we're not going to call him out too much for only having his hair and eyes show. But we will, when we have Zoom calls, we're going to do certain things. You'll have your pen and notepad because you're going to take notes. I could quiz you guys right now, but I'm not going to call you guys out. But Colin dropped some nuggets, and I hope you guys were taking notes on those. The 3 things that you can work on: your body, your craft, and your mind. I got that written down. That's something that you think, oh, I'll always remember that. But if you see it, if you write it, if you think about it, you're more likely to retain it. So those are some of the expectations, and we'll lay them all out once we select our 20. But I know Clayton's got a pen. I've seen him taking some notes, so much respect there, Clayton. But you want to make sure that you're doing everything you can to give yourself an advantage. So next thing we're going to talk about, I guess we kind of touched on playing time. It's not equal. We're not equal opportunists. What's a good shot for Clayton, I might not want Will taken. What Aiden can shoot, I might not want Kellen to take. But what Will shoots might not be a good shot for somebody else. And that's part of that role. We're going to try to have everybody know that role, what we expect of you guys, and then perform those things. So it won't be equal. It'll be based on a lot of things. Skill is definitely one of them. Playing time will be based on skill, effort, coachability, work ethic. All those things will factor in. Just because you're at every practice doesn't mean you're going to get to be guaranteed playing time more than the kid that misses stuff. It's going to be who's in shape, who plays hard. All those things will factor in. Offensively, we're going to push the tempo. Defensively, we're going to attack. We want to attack offensively and defensively. Schedule, I've gone over that with most of the people on the call, but we will have Friday practices before our Saturday, Sunday tournaments. So we've kind of set this up in a way that we can have kids come from a distance. I know Rue played last year coming from Hermiston. That's, if you guys don't know, that's a pretty far drive. So I respect his dedication and commitment. So him missing something, I would view differently than if you live 3 minutes away from the gym that we're practicing at and you miss. If you miss because you're playing 2K or Fortnite or Call of Duty or World of Warcraft or some other game that I don't know because I don't play video games because I have very little time in my life to play video games. And I don't have a PS6. And you guys don't even know about the PS6. I'm not even going to talk about that anymore on this call because I don't want you guys to be hassling me about trying to get you guys hooked up with the PS6. Next, we talked about the mental toughness, the schedule. We'll do 4 Portland area tournaments. And then we're going to do 1 trip to Auburn, Washington. That's where we played last year, Rue, that kind of mall. It's a really cool setup. It's like 6 or 7 courts, and it's kind of like in a mall area, but everybody will be playing there. So it's really cool because hopefully we're not playing at the same time and gold can watch silver and we can all be like cheering for each other. That'll be a cool kind of culmination of the season. So the commitment is from now until Memorial Day weekend. So that's the commitment. Uniforms, we have really sweet uniforms, you guys. If you haven't seen them, you got to see them. But this is one of the new ones right here. So we do have sharp looking uniforms. If you haven't seen them, shoot me a message on Grit Oregon on Instagram, or you can just look at that page and see them. But Grit Oregon, if you don't follow Grit Oregon, that would be a good one to follow on Instagram. Parent communication. Happy to talk with parents about anything at all, but not for 24 hours until after the last game of a tournament. So parents, you're welcome to reach out after the 24 hours if you want to sit down. I would recommend the first conversation, have it be your player communicating with us. And then if you still deem that it's something that you need to step in on, parents, you're welcome to. I can initiate contact with you. I can reach out afterwards and say, yeah, man, Will had a great game. And you're welcome to respond and communicate. But if you have issues with how we're doing things, the plays we're running, the playing time, anything like that, just reach out after 24 hours and then we can try to communicate that. But I've found that it just gives everybody a little bit of time to kind of decompress, sleep on it, have a little bit cooler head when we do talk. Hopefully we don't have any of those issues. Hopefully I'm able to weed those crazy parents out before they get through to the top 20 of Grit, but you never know. So I just got to bring that up. If you are coming this week, if you have a reversible jersey, it would be awesome for you to bring it. So if you're taking notes or if you think you can remember, but I'm the remember the 5 people, 6 people that are on this call. And so if you don't have a jersey, that's okay if you don't own one, but if you have one and you just forgot because you don't write it down or you don't remember, maybe some push-ups, maybe we'll get those pecs, build those pecs up a little bit, but bring a reversible jersey if you can. If you can't, I'm not going to hold that against you. But we will do some stuff where it's good to have different colors.
Bring 2 shirts. Bring different color shirts if you don't have reversible jerseys.
If you don't have a reversible jersey, bring 2 shirts. Figure it out, right? Like borrow one, but I would definitely not be the kid that was on the Zoom call that forgets or doesn't show up with one. Speaking of that, we are, like I've mentioned, I am not a majority shareholder in Apple, but players will need to have access to iMessage. So that is something that, why? Like I said, I'm not trying to promote a certain brand, but it just makes my job way easier if everybody can communicate with an iPhone, because you can add people to messages, you can subtract people from messages, you can have more than 20. So if you only have iPhone, or if you have somebody that one person doesn't have an iPhone, then you can only have 20 in a group. And we have 20 players, but then we have 4 coaches, 5 coaches. So we need to be able to have a group chat. And people will say, well, why don't you get an app? And there's apps for that. And there is an app for that, guaranteed, because there's an app for everything. But not everyone checks those apps as often. Some of them you have to pay for. So having an old, you can get iPhones for $99 now. So I'm sorry if that's going to be an added expense, but we'll go into the expense now. It is $1,855. 1,800 of that goes to the program for tournament entry fees, uniforms, coaches, practices, gym rentals, insurance, everything like that. $55 goes to the processing online. So I don't see any of that. It'll just say $18, but it'll actually charge you $1,855. So I just wanted to mention that just so you don't feel like he said 1,800 and it's actually, yeah, they're going to charge you that 3% or whatever it is. And then hotels in Auburn. Other than that, we won't ask for anything extra. It'll be 1,800 total. And then you're responsible for travel. So if you are coming over from Eastern Oregon, you might need extra hotels also. Or from Medford, Phoenix. Talent? Not many people on this call know about Phoenix and Talent, but well, that's about all I had today. So I'm gonna turn it over to Jacob to give you guys one last talk. He's about to go coach up his other squad, so he's heading into the gym right now. But Jacob, give us just a little bit of what you are most excited about for this spring grit season. Let's go. Turning it over to you. Unmute. Give us a little bit of the juice.
I'm just excited to really get the opportunity to inspire and invoke a little bit of passion in your guys' love for the game of basketball and help you guys achieve everything that you want to do. I've had a lot of coaches in my life, some great, some not so great, and I just want to be able to give you guys the outlet to have a positive experience. Grab a scholarship, accomplish what you want to accomplish. I want to feel pride for you guys when you guys succeed as players, and that's just what I'm excited for about the opportunity to coach y'all.
I love it. I love it. I always say, am I a good coach? Ask me 10 years from now when the kids that I'm coaching become husbands and fathers and business owners and businessmen, then I'll know if I'm a good coach. And that's something Jacob played for us. So hopefully we fall into that, some of the good coaches and not the bad coaches. Otherwise, he probably wouldn't want to be around us. But there is something to be said for that pride. I know last night, one of the kids that I've coached since he was 2 years old just won a state championship over there in Coos Bay. He's a freshman. So pretty cool to see him now having success on a statewide level. But that is something that's fun, Jacob. You're going to see these guys become, you guys are all kind of boys still, getting to be young men, and soon you'll be men. And so that's something that I love about this thing is seeing kids that probably rarely have to shave. Kid that I had that came to Max Hoops before his freshman year of high school was just in the NFL Combine, and he ran the 4th fastest time in the 40-yard dash in the history of the Combine for tight ends. His name's Devin Culp. Devin Culp, C-U-L-P. He's from Gonzaga Prep in Spokane. He came to a Max Hoops event, came to a lot of Max Hoops events, just got done playing his 6th year at Washington, the University of Washington for the Huskies, and then just went to the NFL Combine and ran a 4.4 40. And he's like 6'5", 230 probably. He's a grown man with a full beard and runs fast, and he's huge now. But I remember before he had to shave. And so it's just really cool. That's definitely one of my favorite parts of this whole thing is just getting to see you guys develop. But yeah, if you don't know, look up Devin Culp and see how big he is and picture him running a 4.4 40. 4th fastest time ever for a tight end at the Combine. But that's all I have. We got 2:55. I really appreciate you guys being here, all the guys that can make it. I'm gonna put this thing on the World Wide Web, the interwebs. I'm gonna send it to the internet. So I'll put this up. So if you have anybody that wasn't able to join that might be interested in hearing more information, feel free to pass the link or reach out to me and say, hey, can I get that link so I can pass it on to my buddy? We can do that. And then that's about it. So thanks again, guys, and we'll talk to you guys. Are you guys all planning on being there on Tuesday? Rue, do you know if you're gonna be able to make it over? Aiden, I talked to your dad. You're planning on it. Will be there, right?
Yeah, I should be going on Tuesday.
You're gonna be there Tuesday. Let's go. Okay. Awesome. And so that's exciting because that is a trek from South Medford, Southern Oregon is a long way away. So Aiden, I appreciate you coming up and definitely respect that. Make sure your grades don't slip. If they start to slip, we'll have some other conversations, but we did try to set this up so where people can come from further away. So that's why the Tuesdays we're calling workouts. Those are more optional. After the first 2 Tuesdays will be tryouts. And then after that, we're calling them workouts. So if you're from Beaverton, Wilsonville, if you can make it from wherever you're coming from, Salem, Corvallis, if you can make it, we'd love to have you on Tuesdays at the Middleton Jewish Community Center. But I understand if you can't make those. The Friday practices would be more of a priority. And if you can't make stuff that I understand, life happens. We all have busy schedules. Just please communicate with me or Coach Lunt or Coach Hellstrom or Coach Bolger. Make sure you're doing the best you can to communicate because I won't get mad if you can't make something. But if you don't communicate and you flake out or you forget a Zoom call, those things make me more upset. So we will have Zoom calls twice a week. So put them in your phone, calendar, reminder, just to blow off the meetings because you can do them from anywhere. I know almost all of you guys are probably on your phone right now. So make sure that you communicate. All right. That's all I'm going to say about that. Hopefully the guys that are on now, I don't have to have any issues with that. But if you're watching this on replay, don't make me mad. And Jacob can attest because I did go off on that kid one time really bad. Not bad. He deserved it. He was moping a little bit when he came over to play with the JV. And so I had to tell him in a pretty loud voice and some choice words that you don't handle not getting what you want that way. And now he's a better man because of it. So you can tell that story sometime about when Coach Miner lost his crap on him. So, all right, I'm gonna stop the recording.